Welcome home.
Yo! Alright guys, I got good news and I got bad news. Bad news is I got all the way through Poppy's Playtime to the very end, to the boss battle that's inside that factory where he comes out the smoky parts. Still haven't passed it, but my game got corrupted, so I had to restart the whole thing over. So I'm gonna do the whole Let's Play in one fell swoop when I play it after we watch the story, you know what I'm saying? The first part of said Let's Play is gonna be on my gaming channel, link in the description down below.
Hey guys, superhorrorbro Mike here, and in today's video, we take a journey through a nightmarish Playcare as we explain the story of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. This video will walk you through the events of this latest chapter in Mascot Horror Mayhem step by step, with a little theory talk along the way. So with that said, sit back, relax, and let's recap the events of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. During the final moments of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, our protagonist boarded a train out of the game station which would take them to the safety of the world above.
I never got to ride that train.
Until Poppy Playtime herself decided she needed to keep them around to right the wrongs that occurred within the Playtime Code factory, diverting the train's trajectory and sending our hero hurtling down a one-way track toward the Playcare, at which point the train crashed and they passed out.
What?
Waking back up, the protagonist finds themselves being carried by a creepy new bigger bodies experiment known as Catnap, who deposits them down a garbage chute into the waste disposal.
Oh, God.
Picking themselves up, our fearless explorer realizes they have but seconds to escape the garbage compactor before they are pancaked. After doing so, they make their way through the back rooms of a waste disposal area, catching glimpses of Catnap along the way, who seems to be stalking their every move.
Oh no, I didn't see that!
Eventually, they reach a room with a ringing phone. But who could this mystery caller be?
Oh, part 2, the mystery caller. Oh, I gotta start watching more of these.
Upon picking up the receiver, we are greeted by the sound of a child's voice.
Word?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm kinda lost.
Hello?
I don't want you to die, so
Oh.
I'm gonna help you.
The child sends the protagonist a battery, which can be used to charge up the power point on the wall, unlocking the exit. After leaving this room, they encounter the smoldering wreckage of a train that derailed during their escape from the game station. The child introduces himself as a little boy named Ollie. He explains that Poppy needs the protagonist to help stop the evil at work within the factory, but warns that Catnap, the last of the remaining smiling critters, will try to stop them at every turn.
Where was that at?
Playcare is straight ahead. It's the home of Catnap, one of the smiling critters. There used to be 8 of them, I think.
8 of them?
Now it's just him. Playcare is his church, his hunting ground.
Oh.
Oh, and by the way, my name is Ollie. Nice to meet you.
Word? I ain't never heard none of that. Word? I gotta play
The protagonist then boards a sky rail, which travels them directly into the heart of a Playcare, located within an enormous sky dome situated in a cave deep below the factory above. While riding the sky rail, we hear a welcome message from Playtime co-founder and master inventor Elliot Ludwig, who recalls his grand ambitions for this place.
These children deserve to smile, they deserve to love, and they deserve a safe home. That is why it is with enormous pleasure that as the founder of Playtime Co., I announce Playcare, our very own on-site orphanage.
Elliot created the Playcare as an idealistic orphanage for children without a place to call home. Everything a growing child could need is found here, aside from natural light. There's a school, a playhouse, a toy store, and a counselor's office where children could speak to adults in times of need. At the top of the Playcare stands Home Sweet Home, the orphanage building itself, where the children would retire to their beds by night after a long day of play and learning. In the center of the Playcare are a series of statues featuring the iconic smiling critters. These were smiling mascots who once had their very own TV show, as well as a line of plushies that expelled a soothing scented spray when their drawstring was pulled, helping children around the world gradually fall to sleep. However, news reports spoke of how one toy in particular, Catnap, left children with horrific nightmares, and was swiftly pulled from production.
Now, with controversy growing, Playtime Co. has announced the recall of all Catnap toys from the Smiling Critters line. His image cleared from all promotional material. But damage already done, will disappearing be that easy? The exact cause of these incidents still unknown. Only one thing appears glaringly certain. Your children are not safe.
That doesn't sound. Oh my god. The fuck? What is that?
It seems the Catnap plush may have accidentally gone into mass production with the red smoke as its scented spray. The red smoke was a sleeping gas used on the orphans within the Playcare facility, and expelled by the living version of Catnap who resided here. It was incredibly potent and sent the children into a deep sleep. From a VHS tape found near the beginning of the chapter, we learned that this red smoke caused certain children to hallucinate and have vivid nightmares, as well as becoming sick, much to the dismay of their carers.
Catnap had the red smoke in the room. Then suddenly there was this scream. Nightmares happen, I know, but this, dilated pupils and quivering lips. The way her eyes darted around the room, and I swear, her hand in mine, it felt like her blood was boiling beneath her skin.
The scientists at the facility were using Catnap and the red smoke to put the orphans under their care to sleep, then conducting horrific experiments, turning them into the horrifying living toys we now encounter as we journey through the desolate factory. More on that later. Below the Smiling Critters statues is a room where Ollie is able to send keys for the protagonist to collect up so they can unlock various locations throughout the Playcare. First stop is the gas production factory, where the red smoke is produced. Ollie explains that this red smoke must be diverted in order for our hero to continue their journey into the depths of the facility.
All that gas you see coming from the machine is made right here in the factory. It's called the red smoke. Right now, it's all headed off to the right. We need to make that red smoke go left instead. That's how we can get to him.
Mission in hand, the protagonist sets off to connect up the power grid within the factory and begin diverting the gas to clear a path forward. En route, they discover a new upgrade for their grab pack, a purple prototype hand labelled for Grab Pack 2.0. This new hand allows users to jump high in the air when making contact with purple plates. And it also allows for far greater reach, which comes in handy when trying to connect up circuits throughout this new area. Using this new upgrade, the protagonist makes their way through the gas production zone and hooks up the power. However, after turning on the machine, the power cuts out and we are plunged into darkness. Ollie explains that someone has cut the power, and so instructs the protagonist to return to the Playcare and enter the Home Sweet Home orphanage. There they can restore the power using the backup generator. Upon entering the Home Sweet Home orphanage, our hapless hero is inadvertently exposed to a high dosage of red smoke and finds themselves trapped in a hallucinogenic nightmare. While exploring the haunting hallways of the orphanage, we come across a series of creepy radio broadcasts, which tells the story of the mangled body of a child discovered at the home of Elliot Ludwig after his passing. It is unclear whether this body was planted to deflect attention away from the nefarious goings-on at Playtime Co. and to set up Elliot Ludwig as a fall guy, or if this pioneer of children's entertainment wasn't really the sweet old man he was once portrayed as.
It's sickening. Elliot Ludwig was a great man, and those who knew him understood that he was not capable of violence, let alone what others now claim. He had a deep love in his heart for children like this one,
Yeah, not capable of
making the
violence.
actions of whoever planted this body all the more sick. We look forward to clearing his good name, both in the public eye and in the eyes of the law.
While navigating this nightmare, the protagonist periodically runs into Catnap as he stalks the
Oh, hell
halls, never
no.
attacking, but rather
No.
ominously watching their every move.
Come on, bro.
Eventually, they reach a room with a VHS tape. The
Hell
tape
no.
seems to be speaking directly to the protagonist, hinting that they were once a worker at the factory who is now returned to be haunted by the very inhumane experiments they once helped create.
And should you come back years later, your conscience finally getting the better of you, may you descend into the dark and the dust, finding all that awaits you are incomprehensible horrors, each hungry for your return, each eager that they might find you. Or perhaps they won't allow you such time to figure your place in the world you'd left, a world that's theirs now. Welcome home.
At the end of this recording, a nightmare version of Huggy Wuggy
Open the
crawls
door,
out of
bruh.
the television screen and chases the worker down.
Yo!
However, this was simply an illusion.
Yo!
After being eaten by Huggy, the protagonist awakes within the playhouse unscathed, and continues onward in search
What the
of the backup
fuck?
generator.
Unscathed my ass!
It isn't long before they come across a new piece of kit.
Type of
This time,
bullshit.
a very handy item indeed, the gas mask, which allows them to navigate areas flooded with that intoxicating red smoke.
Not in a good way.
Using wind-up race cars to clear
Yeah,
debris
bruh.
and batteries to power up doors, the protagonist begins making their way into the depths of the orphanage. In one room, they discover Kissy Missy, who sits on a bed cradling a photograph of a little girl in her paws. It seems this little girl is the child now trapped inside Kissy's bigger body, an experiment of the Playcare, who met a fateful end at the hands of the scientists and now lives on as a giant toy. However, unlike Huggy, Mommy and Catnap, Kissy seems docile and does not pose a threat. We find further evidence of the experiments the scientists conducted on the orphans of the Playcare when unearthing this VHS tape. On this tape, we hear a scientist designate an experiment number to a child called Kevin, who he refers to as a subject. However, the scientist log is interrupted by another child who questions what is going on, and then must be reassured that everything is okay.
Though highly irregular, we've pulled him from the home sweet home just before lights out to perform.
What are you doing with my friend?
What are you doing out of bed? How did you get in here?
Is Kevin sick? Why did you take him away?
Yes, Kevin is very sick. Very, very sick. But we want to make him better. But he can only get better if we take him to where we can provide proper care and give him proper rest.
In the Home Sweet Home building, we find more and more evidence of the nefarious goings-on at Playtime Co. Giant rotating statues with inbuilt cameras that monitor the movement of the children. One-way glass windows for observing sleep patterns and changes in behaviour. And sanitation stations for caring for those who had fallen ill as a result of exposure to the red smoke. Eventually, the protagonist locates the backup generator and restores power to the Playcare. As they leave, they are jumped by a familiar face.
No! Let go! They didn't do anything wrong. We're actually here to help. This place makes her tense. I'm glad that Ollie could help you get this far. He's the reason we found you at all. You deserve an explanation. Come on.
Poppy explains that she doesn't mean them harm, but she does need their help to stop the monsters that have tortured them. She explains the monsters didn't act alone. They were driven by the influence of a mysterious entity, Experiment 1006, also known as the Prototype. an entity who claimed the remains of Huggy Wuggy and Mommy Longlegs to assimilate them into its own body, absorbing their consciousness in the process. Poppy explains that the prototype was in fact the creature who locked her away for so very long in the case where we first found her.
The prototype knows we're coming by now. You try to escape, he'll kill you before you ever reach that front door. He's the reason I was trapped in that god-awful case for so long. You have no idea the things he's done. Let me help you kill him. Let me help you save everyone. We've all seen you, how capable you are. You killed Huggy. You killed Mommy. You freed me. You are perfect for this. Catnap is coming. He's the final obstacle the prototype has placed against us. We can't stay here. Keep yourself safe. Ollie will call you.
After descending back to the Playcare with the power restored, Ollie gets back in touch to explain the whereabouts of our next destination. He sends the protagonist to the schoolhouse to turn on the backup generator there. Once inside the school, Ollie tries to warn the protagonist of an entity residing within, but his signal is cut short before he can go into detail. We then hear a surprisingly chipper voice call to us over the intercom.
This is Mr. Light speaking. Please excuse the interruption. Students, remain in your seat until the bell has rung, and no going in the halls without a hall pass. Wait, I recognize you. Yes, I remember. You used to work here. How are you? Alive.
This is the voice of Mr. Light, the last remaining teacher at the school. Mr. Light is a shambling doll who can only move under the cover of darkness, stepping forward as lights flicker on and off. We must maintain eye contact with this giant disfigured doll to prevent her from quickly catching up to us. As we explore the school, we discover a series of notes which explain Mr. Light's tragic backstory. There were once many different versions of Mr. Light teaching within the schoolhouse. She refers to them as her sisters.
Find my sisters and I to learn facts across a variety of subjects.
However, one day the teachers found themselves locked inside the schoolhouse, and without a food supply, they began to starve. Without children to teach, their minds wandered, and Mr. Light became unhinged. She crafted a makeshift weapon from a ruler and pens to defend herself as her sisters began to turn on her. Mr. Light even gave this weapon a personality and named it Bob. Eventually, she lost her mind and believed Bob was speaking directly to her, willing her to kill the other teachers and then feed on their corpses in order to survive starvation. Now she is the last remaining soul wandering these eerily quiet halls. We learn that it was Catnap who sealed the Delight sisters away in the schoolhouse. From a videotape, it is insinuated that this was because Catnap knew these teachers may harm the children of the orphanage after the outbreak at the factory occurred.
Please, where are the children? Are they in the same place as the employees?
No.
Are the children safe?
Yes.
Ah. Can I see them?
No.
And that was it. That's all he'd tell me. Probably because he knew I'd kill them all.
After powering up the generator, Mr. Light attacks the protagonist, who must then use their wits to survive her onslaught. Eventually, after a lengthy chase, they manage to trap the cannibalistic teacher under a shutter, crushing her in the process. After leaving the school, our hero emerges in a network of caves outside the Playcare dome. Here they discover the third and final upgrade for this chapter, a flare gun. The flare gun can be used both as a way to ward off enemies, as well as lighting a path forward in particularly dark areas. Making their way through the caves, they discover a horrifying sight. Catnap stands before a shrine he has built for the prototype. In fact, This shrine may give us a rough idea of what the hideous entity actually looks like. We see Catnap worshipping the prototype as if he were a god. We learnt why this is via an ARG for Poppy Playtime that released ahead of Chapter 3's launch. There was once a child called Theodore Grambel. He had been selected as a potential candidate for the Bigger Bodies Initiative, the process of transferring a child's brain and nervous system into the body of a toy. The prototype befriended Theo and then tried to help him escape before he met a fateful end. Unfortunately, during their escape attempt, Theo was injured while using a grab pack. The only way for the prototype to save Theo's life was to return the boy to the scientists they were trying to escape. Unfortunately, this led little Theo to be used in their latest Bigger Bodies experiment, Catnap. As Catnap, Theodore Grambel continued to worship and idolize the prototype and became further bonded to him. This is later confirmed to us by Ollie, who seems to have knowledge of the incident.
In Catnap's eyes, the prototype is a superhero and has saved this place. So Catnap treats him like a god, killing everyone that opposes him, us included, if we're not careful.
A VHS tape sheds some additional light on the character of Catnap and his relationship to the prototype. We hear the voice of Head of Innovation, Leif Pierre, speaking directly to the creature, who it seems was kept within a prison cell beneath the playhouse when not interacting with the orphan kids.
Is his, voice thingy still broken? Theo, nobody's gonna save you. This prison is where you belong. We'll let you out here and there to go see the kids in Playcare, but your home is here. And as for the prototype, his home is in the labs. This is your life now. Get used to it.
Oh.
From this recording, we really get a sense of the neglect these Bigger Bodies experiments were dealt at the hands of the Playtime Co. employees responsible for their creation. The protagonist realizes that the only way out of these caves is through the playhouse, an area of the Playcare Ollie explicitly warned them not to enter. Moments after setting foot in the Playcare, it becomes obvious why, as they are ambushed by a host of miniature smiling critters, and they are not friendly. To ward off these plushy-sized predators, we must use the flare gun to send the critters scurrying back into the holes they crawl out from. After making their way through the playhouse as hordes of smiling critters give chase, the protagonist finally reaches the aforementioned prison block. Here they encounter the last remaining smiling critter from the Bigger Bodies Initiative, DogDay, or rather what's left of him.
That thing, Catnap, the prototype is his god, and this is what he does to heretics. These little toys follow Catnap to avoid that very fate, and in return, they are fed. We try to fight it, the prototype's control. I am the last of the smiling critters.
DogDay explains that we are Poppy's angel, brought to this place to save them all. This suggests that it was indeed Poppy who summoned us back to the factory all those years later, promising us answers to the mysterious disappearance of our co-workers. DogDay urges the worker to leave, but at that moment the mini critters crawl inside his skin and take hold of his body. They then use DogDay to hunt our hero down as they flee the maze-like halls and crawl spaces of the playhouse. We narrowly escape DogDay thanks to the purple hand, which springs the player across a gap and into the elevator back to the surface. Returning to the relative safety of the Playcare's hub, our protagonist is once again greeted by Ollie, who is able to reconnect after losing signal. Ollie explains that the final backup generator is found within the councillor's office, and so this grand building is our next destination. The councillor's office was a place where the orphans could come to speak of their troubles, and was also somewhere where they could be sneakily monitored by Playtime staff. It also seems that these offices were where the heads of each department worked from. the main base of operations, so to speak. While exploring these offices, we come across two different VHS tapes. The first is an emergency broadcast, dated August 8th, 1995, where a company-wide danger alert was issued.
At 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an unknown hostile force was declared present within the Playtime Company facility. Personnel are to begin enacting emergency evacuation protocols immediately.
The broadcast cuts out, and an eerie message is displayed, which reads, "Open the doors. The hour of joy has arrived."
It must be
the second recording is found in the office of Stella Graber. Longtime fans will remember that Stella took a job at Playtime Co. and quickly rose through its ranks. Starting on the toy production line, it wasn't long before Stella became a key part of a secret Bigger Bodies Initiative experiment conducted beneath the toy factory. Stella was made head of Playcare, in charge of looking after the orphans and seeing that those who didn't end up as part of her employer's inhumane experiments found good homes with potential adopters. In this chilling recording labelled The Hartman Incident, Stella discovers that a child she had set up for adoption with potential parents ended up unavailable after being selected for testing.
Oh.
I understand you want to give Jeremy that home?
Yes, and we would like to adopt.
Amazing. You'll be perfect for... Oh.
What?
Well, it appears there's been some complications.
Complications? What kind of complications?
I don't know. The form says testing.
What does that mean? Tell us, what does that mean?
Miss Graber, we deserve a better explanation than that. Don't you think?
You're in charge of all this. How could you not know?
And why are we only finding out about this now?
I don't. I'm sorry.
This makes it crystal clear that not all employees at Playtime knew of the horrible experimentation being conducted on the orphans. The regular factory workers who became involved in the adoption program assumed that the children living inside the Playcare were being well looked after, with no signs of neglect. This highlights just how secretive and careful Playtime Co. were when it came to covering up evidence of their misdeeds. The protagonist eventually locates the power room, and after rewiring the electrical circuits, is able to get the backup power online. The only way back is through an area of the building filled to the brim with red smoke, and here they are attacked by Catnap, who rips off their gas mask, sending them tumbling into another nightmarish hallucination. During this hallucination, Poppy speaks over cryptic imagery, which confirms our suspicions of exactly what went down at the toy factory.
I don't know why, but this imagery always reminds me of the fun times I had in foster care. I'm probably one of the few dudes that had a good time in foster care. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of stuff in foster care that we didn't get in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Safety, video games, food. You have no idea how delicious food is when you know that there's a time when they're going to give it to you. Man, and that...
Orphan experiments, the living toys that went rogue and attacked everyone, and the fact that our protagonist themselves was once a worker somehow involved in all of this, now returning to their old workplace many years later.
Again?
After waking from this trance, Catnap finally addresses the player and instructs them to leave.
Oh no.
The protagonist returns to the Playcare. They hook up the final backup power inputs into the room beneath the statue. Then Ollie gets back in touch to send them a battery which can be used to fully charge the gas production machine and divert the red smoke, so they can descend into the prototype's lair and end this madness once and for all.
I got to the part past this. This part right here, the Catnap showdown. I was really at the end of the game!
After heading back into the gas production factory, the protagonist attempts to slot the big battery into the power unit and finally drain the gas, blocking their path forward. Just as they do so, Catnap emerges from behind a nearby door and floods the room with smoke.
No.
This causes a hallucination, where Catnap transforms into a monstrous demon form.
Oh,
the protagonist quickly races over to a nearby elevator, narrowly escaping Catnap in the process.
See, I made it past this
They
part.
then find themselves in a power room, where a mysterious VHS tape is waiting to be played.
This is where I lost.
The
This is where my game
contents of
corrupted.
this tape reveal a scientist conversing with the prototype. The name of this scientist is unknown, but it does sound very much like Harley Sawyer, the man who spearheaded the Bigger Bodies initiative. We learn that the prototype went through vile experimentation at the hands of this scientist, who poked and prodded at it in search of answers.
Ready to talk now, are you? I possess
A question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel anything?
This question referred to what exactly?
You stick us, beat us, tear at flesh.
Do you feel it?
There's a secret inside you, 1006. Valuable beyond all measure. I cut and prod and burn at it. And I get closer with each session.
When the prototype speaks, we hear a well of different voices. This feeds into our theory that this entity is made up from a collected consciousness of many different beings, an amalgamation of different souls, all controlled by the original subject at its core. Could this original subject be Elliot Ludwig himself? It also seems that the prototype is learning just as much from the scientist as the scientist is from it, which explains how it was able to cause the outbreak at the facility.
Shit. Damn, bitch.
You thank me?
Absolutely.
I learn something new about you every day.
After learning this information, we run into Catnap one last time. Using the machine at the center of a power room, the worker must periodically set off steam pipes to scorch the predatory feline as he closes ground.
Really?
Although not all of these catnaps are real, some are simply hallucinations, and we can actually use our flare gun to tell which is in fact the genuine article. After surviving Catnap's advances and fully powering up the machine, the protagonist overloads it with their grab pack hand. This electrifies their hand and allows them to pass the electrical current directly into Catnap as he pounces. Catnap is set ablaze, he staggers to his feet, scorched and dying, and just at that moment, a hatch opens from above and the prototype extends its hand. Initially, Catnap is afraid, but quickly embraces his master's wishes and surrenders to his god. Theodore and the prototype becoming one in the process. With Catnap terminated, the protagonist is finally able to head back down the elevator shaft and power up the gas production machine. With the path ahead now clear, they reunite with Poppy and Kissy in the adjacent room. Here, Poppy finally shows them what went down at the factory all of those years ago, an event that occurred on August 8th, 1995, and was known as the Hour of Joy.
I remember hearing every moment of it. It went on so long, so agonizingly long. They tried to hide, to run, anything to stay alive. I remember their cries. What's going on? Why is this happening?
Oh shit.
What are those things? Senseless slaughter, that's all it really was. They killed everyone. The guilty, the innocent, didn't matter. All of that death didn't fix anything. And then, once it was all over, they dragged those corpses down below where they'd never be found. And they ate the bodies to stay alive. prototype has to die. For this. For everything.
Oh.
Poppy plays a video which shows how the prototype influenced the other bigger bodies' experiments to attack their creators.
Damn.
Guilty or innocent, it made no difference. No one was spared in the bloodbath that ensued. And so, with the truth revealed, it's finally time to head down to the greatest depths of the facility, the laboratory where the prototype himself resides. It's time to end it all. Poppy tells Kissy Missy to lower her and the protagonist down the elevator first, promising to send it back up when they reach the bottom. However, while descending we hear the chilling cries of Kissy under attack, but it's too late to turn back now. The hatch seals shut behind them, and our intrepid duo are plunged into darkness, leaving Kissy to a fate unknown.
We're coming! Just hold on! Come on, go faster! Kissy!
And with that, we come to the end of this video and a look at the story of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Explained. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it both entertaining and informative. Hey guys, superhorrorbro Mike here, and in today's video, we explore the secrets of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. This walkthrough will take you through the latest chapter at Playtime Co., revealing the location and contents of those lore-heavy VHS tapes, cardboard cutouts, and more. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the things you might have missed in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Our first secret can be found while exploring the Home Sweet Home Orphanage, a building where the orphans resided after a day of play and learning in the Playcare. Upon entering this bedroom, we witness the sight of Kissy Missy sat on a bed, looking longingly at a photograph of a little girl. On the wall beside the bed are childlike doodles of Kissy. This suggests that Kissy has returned to the room she once lived in as an orphan at the Playcare, and the girl in the picture was her before she was transferred into the body of a giant toy. It is also possible that this little girl was somebody Kissy was friends with, a child who died during the Hour of Joy, or as part of Playtime's nefarious experimentation. During the nightmare sequence that plays after first entering the Home Sweet Home Orphanage and inhaling the red smoke, we hear various radios around the environment telling the story of a mangled body found at the estate of the late Elliot Ludwig. However, there is one radio that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. A distorted audio loop plays from it, and beside, a message has been scratched into the floorboards which reads, "Guilt haunts you." We can actually reverse this audio loop, at which point the following message can be deciphered.
Bitch. Can you imagine saying that to a female? I love you, bitch. I'm never gonna stop loving you, bitch.
Coming here and you killed, murdered, you pillaged and destroyed. Your presence was demanded 10 years ago and you didn't show up. 8/8/1995. You were supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? You missed the event. You missed the meeting. You missed the party. You have no right to be here.
It seems our protagonist was once a worker at the Playtime Co. factory. Someone who didn't show up for work on the day when the toys went on a kill-crazy rampage during the Hour of Joy. Could this be the prototype speaking to our protagonist through the radio waves, telling them to leave? The Smiling Critters were originally a line of plushy toys, who contained scented sprays within their zip-up bellies. Each critter contained a different scent, which was expelled in the form of a spray when their drawstring was pulled. However, we learned that one of these toys, Catnap, had an unknown spray included in its belly. One that had made national news after children exposed to it began having vivid hallucinogenic nightmares. Catnap was then pulled from store shelves and removed from all marketing. Of course, Playtime Co. wasted no time using these mascot designs as part of their own experiments, transferring the consciousness of orphan children into the critters to bring them to life, via a series of horrifying surgical procedures. Most of the bigger body variants of the smiling critters are now long dead, with DogDay and Catnap the last remaining two. The former is found chained up inside the prison and quickly dies to the smaller plush-sized variants, who now all follow Catnap to avoid death. Cutouts of these critters can be found throughout Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. When playing their audio, we hear cryptic messages, which seem to originate from the children trapped inside. Some cry for help, while others have lost their minds, now driven by a desire to kill. Let's take a listen to each of these cutouts.
I'm Bubba Bubbaphant. Hey, I remember you. An elephant always remembers. Want to know what I remember about you?
Hey, I'm Kickin' Chicken. Want to go outside and hang out? It's looking pretty bad outside. I've never been outside before. Will you come with me? I'm scared. Here, follow me. I'll step out first.
Knew it, he had a gun. Bro, you gonna sleep the whole time?
Hi there, I'm Piggy. Let's eat. Roast beef? Delicious. Grilled chicken? Down the hatch. Seared elephant? Yum! Flayed unicorn? Mmm! Still hungry. Hey, what do you say you and I be friends? I'm Hoppy Hopscotch. Wanna try hopping to the moon with me? On three with me. 1, 2, 3! Heh, didn't get very far, did we? Again! 1, 2, 3! Nope, still didn't make it. Listen, this won't stop until we make it to the moon. 1,
He's trying to smash?
2. No, don't look at your feet. None of that matters. Again.
Are you on drugs? Oh yeah, you on drugs. That makes sense.
DogDay says, fetch! Go, as far as you can! Why are you just standing there? You can't be here. You can't stay.
Hi, I'm Crafty Corn. Can you help me with my painting? Pass me the blue, please.
Pass me the blunt.
Thanks. Now, can you give me some red?
Yo, she smoked weed.
More red,
Ask for
please.
some more. More red.
Out? But we can't be out.
Is this bitch on heroin?
You're hiding more red from me.
Okay,
I know you are.
She tripping. If she starts getting that's meth. That's meth.
Hug a day.
Never do
keeps
meth.
The
You
monsters
gotta-
away.
Oh.
2 hugs a day is better in every way.
Shit, be careful, man.
Hugging forever. Hugs are non-stop.
This nigga sounds like Vitality.
I'm gonna hug you until
Hug
you-
me now or I'll punch you in the face. Oh my God. Daddy long legs. Oh.
Mr. Light is a shambling human-sized doll with a mutilated face, who shuffles around the halls of the abandoned schoolhouse. We find a cutout of Mr. Light with the following voice lines.
Hello, students. Find my sisters and I to learn facts across a variety of subjects. Press my button to hear some facts on anatomy. Did you know that there are 60,000 miles of blood vessels in the human body? For comparison, the Earth around the equator is almost 25,000 miles. The smallest bone in your body is the stapes in your ear. Still, damage it, and you risk losing your hearing. Want to learn more about human organs? Pay close attention in class.
Mr. Light was once a teacher of this school, tutoring the orphans who studied here. However, after the Hour of Joy, an event where the prototype influenced all the Bigger Bodies experiments to go on a kill-crazy rampage around the facility, Mr. Light and her sister teachers found themselves locked in the building by Catnap. It seems Catnap wanted to make sure Mr. Light and the other teachers were kept from harming the children of the Playcare. This is documented in a secret VHS tape we can find while exploring the schoolhouse. Take a listen.
Where are the kids? Please, where are the children? Are they in the same place as the employees?
No.
Are the children safe?
Yes.
Ah. Can I see them?
No.
And that was it. That's all he'd tell me. Probably because he knew I'd kill them all.
Oh.
After being sealed away in the schoolhouse, a tragic and cruel fate befell Mr. Light, as she killed and ate her fellow teachers to stay alive. This is detailed in a series of secret notes posted around the schoolhouse. Here are their locations and content. Just a few weeks ago now was the Hour of Joy. Today there is only silence in this school. I don't think any of us here know what to do with it. The hallways with the children carry even the smallest sounds as if they were shouts. The other teachers and I startle each other constantly. We'll have to get used to it. Something locked the front door this morning. We haven't been able to get it open.
Mr. Light note 2.
I heard a knock at the door today. I heard it breathing. Whatever it was, it wouldn't speak when called out to. I spent hours after it went silent wondering if this is what locked us in here. I've made a weapon of sorts. Pencils and rulers and tape and twine. I've taken to calling it Barb. It's crude, but if that door opens, I need to be ready. No food for days. The others argued with me over what was left. They started glaring, judging. They blocked the kitchen doorway with the bodies. I think they've singled me out to die first.
Damn. No, number 4. Okay.
The pit in me howls for food. I can't think about anything other than how hungry I am. Hardly have the strength to pick myself up now off the floor. Barb speaks to me though. She gives me strength. I found that if I stand still, completely still, everybody thinks I'm dead. Barb says I need to eat, and that the other teachers would never see me coming. Anything to stop the howling.
Ooh, that's understandable. Damn.
I'm so sorry. I had to eat. I had to survive. I ate them. I had to.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta eat them.
The door opened today, and I heard something enter the hall. Together, Barb and I found Catnap waiting. All this time, all this agony, it was he who locked the door. I know it. I wanted to kill him, but knew better than to believe I could. He seemed oddly glad to see I was all that remained. We made a deal. We take care of each other now. Report what we see to the other, and to him.
Damn.
As we journey through the Playcare, we encounter a terrifying new enemy known as Catnap. This predator lurking in the shadows was once a little boy named Theodore Gramble, who became part of the Bigger Bodies initiative after he befell a terrible accident at the Playcare while trying to escape from the prototype. Theo, now living on inside the body of Catnap, worships the prototype as his god, referring to him as the Angel of Salvation and carrying out the wishes of this mysterious entity. While exploring the cave system after leaving the schoolhouse, when navigating this walkway, if we look to the left, we can catch the sight of Catnap worshipping a crudely built statue of the prototype. Praying to his master, Catnap stands before this shrine, arms spread wide. If we examine the shrine a little closer, then we can see it is made up from body parts of a selection of dead toys, each killed by Catnap himself. These bodies are wired together with pipes and construction material. This is of course noteworthy as we have seen evidence of a prototype claiming the bodies of dead or dying toys in order to make them part of him. So could the prototype be taking the powers from each of these toys and using them to grow stronger and more able? At the very top of the prototype shrine are the skeletal remains of a construction worker. This could hint at the human test subject within the prototype, who for a long while I have theorized was Playtime co-founder the late Elliot Ludwig. This human skeleton certainly seems to symbolize an adult being used in the prototype experiment rather than a child, as we see in the other bigger body experiments like Kissy Missy and Catnap. Next up we have the Catnap VHS tape. This tape can be found inside a tent just after we enter the Playhouse segment of the chapter. It consists of an interview between Head of Innovation Leif Pierre and Catnap himself. Take a listen.
Okay, this is Catnap, experiment number 1188. What's his real name again? Okay. Hey, Theo. How you doing, bud? Normally I'd have Dr. Sawyer do this, but he's, out, let's say. So you got me until they find his replacement. First off, congrats. This is officially your 4th year in your new body, and you've made some real progress, pal. I was told that when you and the other smiling critters, you know, DogDay, Picky Piggy, yada yada yada, were added into Playcare, that you weren't really getting along too well with the kids like everybody else was. But look at you now. The kids love you. And that red smoke, I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? Is his, voice thingy still broken? Prototype will save us. Theo, nobody's gonna save you. This prison is where you belong. We'll let you out here and there to go see the kids in Playcare, but your home is here. And as for the prototype, his home is in the labs. This is your life now. Get used to it.
Damn.
After entering the prison block within the depths of the Playhouse, we can actually discover the cell where Catnap was contained, as referenced in the previous VHS tape. Through these doors is a hidden room containing a giant paw-shaped bed and many slain toys. This was where Catnap was held hostage by Playtime, only ever allowed out from time to time to mingle with the children he once knew as Theodore Gramble. And finally we come to the rest of the VHS tapes. Let's run down each and every one of them before we end this video. The first tape holds a conversation between child care worker Claire Harper and a Playtime scientist. Miss Harper talks about a child under her care named Marie Payne, a child who eventually ended up inside the body of Mommy Longlegs.
Damn.
The recording details the terrifying effects of Catnap's sleeping gas, the red smoke which had been administered to this child.
All right, Miss Harper, please explain the situation. Spare no detail. Well, like any night, all the children were getting asleep. It was peaceful, quiet. Catnap had the red smoke in the room. Then suddenly, there was this scream. Nightmares happen, I know, but this, I mean, dilated pupils and quivering lips. The way her eyes darted around the room, and I swear, her hand in mine, it felt like her blood was boiling beneath her skin. She saw something, too. Something horrible. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Miss Harper, we'll provide the very best care we can offer. You have my word. But this is important. Did Marie happen to describe what she saw? Yes. A monster, she said that it was colorless. Gosh, I could feel the poor little heart pounding. For her, it was right there. And her movements, they were so wild. Arms flailing, legs kicking.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to her, see how she's doing. I really need to hear her voice right now. That would not be advised, Miss Harper. There are many concerns we must address at this time. But vitals show normal, and we'll continue to monitor. She'll be okay. No!
Damn, bitch.
Pardon me if I'm not comforted by that. Just bring my little girl back to me.
After entering the Home Sweet Home orphanage and inhaling a large dosage of red smoke, our character begins to hallucinate. They eventually reach a room with a VHS tape where an eerie voice welcomes them home.
Greetings, employees, and welcome to your first day here in Playtime. We're certain that in the days to come, you'll find your new family here every bit as loving and supportive as your own. Feel free to wander the halls, sit in the mess for lunch, or watch our children play and learn to their little hearts' content. Join the innovationists where the bounds of science are continuously pushed, or join the counselors of Playcare whose diligence and care for our children will help shape a brighter future. Just you see. Now, every one of you has your part in that future, so should you come back tomorrow feeling unhappy for where you are or what you've done, worry not, for your supervisor is here and happy to listen. And should you come back years later, your conscience finally getting the better of you, may you descend into the dark and the dust, finding all that awaits you are incomprehensible horrors, each hungry for your return, each eager that they might find you. Perhaps they'd smile at you from a shadow, their smiling mouths full of teeth and meat and plastic, watching and waiting patiently for their turn at a warm welcome. Or perhaps they won't allow you such time to figure your place in the world you'd left, a world that's theirs now. Welcome home.
After the tape concludes, Huggy Wuggy emerges from the screen and chases us down. The next tape can be found while exploring the Home Sweet Home orphanage itself. In this tape, a child named Samuel is selected for experimentation and removed from the Playcare. None of the children were allowed to catch on to the terrible fate that would one day await them.
And here they all are.
Well, of course. They'd never miss this.
Listen, Mrs. Brooks, we're going away.
Tell us. This week, Dr. White here has selected our very own Samuel Lee. Now, before he goes, let's all give Sam one last goodbye, shall we? With me. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, Sam!
Another tape hinting at the child experiments being conducted by Playtime Co. scientists can be found in this room of the orphanage. We hear a scientist prepping a boy named Kevin for research, when all of a sudden his friend walks in and has to be assured that nothing suspicious is afoot.
Oh, hell no!
Subject is stable. Designated 1322. Clear neural abnormalities were detected in his recent checkup. Though highly irregular, we've pulled him from the Home Sweet Home just before lights out to perform.
What is he doing with my friend?
What are you doing out of bed? How did you get in here?
Is Kevin sick? Why did you take him away?
Yes, Kevin is very sick. Very, very sick. But we want to make him better. But he can only get better if we take him to where we can provide proper care and give him proper rest.
Well, do you really think he will be okay?
I should think so. We're good at what we do, son. We paid attention in school, learned, and got our proper rest when we needed it. Just like you need it now, I should think. Come now, let's get you on back to bed.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Joseph. And I promise you, your friend will be all right. When you see him again, he'll have never been better.
After entering the caves located outside the Playcare dome, we happen upon an audio log from Rich Avery and his supervisor. Rich is a character we have heard from several times before in the story of Poppy Playtime, and it seems he finally began rising through the ranks thanks to the help of this particular co-worker.
Stupid clunky elevator.
What was that, Richie?
Nothing. Let's just get this shipment dropped and go. Hello, my name is Elliot Ludwig. When you look around...
I take it you're not a fan of this place, are you?
Nope, never liked the feel of it. I mean, don't you think these kids deserve some real sunlight instead of floodlights and painted skies?
Yeah, you
Hell,
think?
we're not even allowed to talk to these kids. Isn't that... Sorry, Stu.
Sorry? That doesn't sound like the Rich I know.
Well, trying to stop being so pissed off all the time. My wife says I'm a lovely man, but I gotta control my temper. So, I'm doing it for her.
You're just different, Rich. Honest to a fault. But I always liked that about you.
Yeah? Well, you're one of the few.
You know, Richie, with my retirement coming up, they've been pushing hard for me to choose my replacement. I'm thinking about giving the role to you.
What, really?
Really? Nothing official yet. But I think there's a decent guy beneath all that graft. An honest, hard-working man. You prove me right. I say your chances are pretty good.
Wow, geez, I don't know what to say. I'm just glad to see not everyone in this place has it out for me.
Not everybody, Rich. Not everybody.
While making our way through the councillor's building, we come across the office of Head of Playcare, Stella Graber. Here we discover an eerie recording, where a couple look to adopt an orphan at the Playcare named Jeremy, but discover he has been taken away for testing and is no longer available.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Hartman. Come on in. Please, have a seat. How was your ride down?
It was, nothing like we were expecting. Mr. Ludwig's speech was, well, it just confirms for us that you're the orphanage we want to go through.
It's a truly magical place. I felt right at home from the second I entered. You open that door the first time and you just know you're never going to leave. Kind of like finding a home as a child and always thinking of it when you want to feel comforted. I understand you want to give Jeremy that home? Yes, and we would like to adopt. Amazing. You'll be perfect for... Oh. What? Well, it appears there's been some complications. Complications? What kind of complications? I don't know. The form says testing. What does that mean? Tell us, what does that mean?
Miss Graber, we deserve a better explanation than that. Don't you think?
You're in charge of all this. How could you not know?
And why are we only finding out about this now?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Also in this building is the creepy emergency broadcast recording that played out during the outbreak at Playtime Co. Check it out.
The following message is for all Playtime Company employees. At 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an unknown hostile force was declared present within the Playtime Company facility. Personnel are to begin enacting emergency evacuation protocols immediately. Leave all personal belongings. Do not engage with any hostile individuals. If no exit path is available, seek shelter in a hidden location. Use blankets or pillows to cover your body, and remain silent. Do not look through any windows. Do not open doors for any individuals. Do not make eye contact.
Open the doors now. The hour of joy has... But that don't sound like an hour of joy.
Towards the end of the chapter, we reach a power room in the gas production factory. Here we discover a recording between a researcher and the prototype himself. We even hear the prototype speak for the first time, able to mimic the different voices of those he has assimilated into his being.
Log code 24459. In relation, experiment 1006. The prototype. Stubborn as he is, and always silent with each passing session, I'm still uncovering fresh data nonetheless. Today's discovery. End of log.
Ready to talk now, are you? I possess
A question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel anything?
This question referred to what exactly?
You stick us, beat us, tear at flesh.
Do you feel it? There's a secret inside you, 1006. Valuable beyond all measure. I cut and prod and burn at it, and I get closer with each session. So speak, or don't. Fight, or give in. Regardless, I learn something new about you every day. It excites me. Thank you. You thank me?
Absolutely.
I learn something new about you every day.
The final tape is played by Poppy herself at the very end of the chapter. It shows the horrifying sight of the massacre that occurred during the Hour of Joy. Check out this chilling footage of the incident.
Oh, shit. That's one of them. God damn. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. God damn. Oh, Mommy Longlegs giving it to him. She just splattered 3 people. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's not good. Oh, no. Oh, save them. Oh, save the children. Oh, they're about to jump him. Damn. Oh, ooh. Ooh. Oh. Damn. Oh. Oh. Damn.
And with that, we come to the end of this look at the secrets and collectibles found throughout Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it both entertaining and informative.
I'm super glad I watched this. I'm gonna start watching more of these. I did not know that these were so well put together and informational when they're coming from Super Horror Bros. Make sure to go check him out, subscribe to his channel. Make sure to look out for my Let's Play of Poppy's Playtime 3 Twisms.